Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
1 2 1 2. I say that every time. It's always on. It always sounds good. It just feels good to say 1 2 1 2. You know what I'm saying?
It feels natural, man. It always works, though. It always works.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back one more time. At it again. This is Art Morera. Welcome back to another episode of the Medianoche podcast. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in, man. Y'all been really supportive. I'm really happy that where kind of this is going. You know, so this is episode 17, and the guest that I got today is just one of the original people from the scene that I got familiar with, you know, as a MC, and that's just overall cool dude, man. I got Minus here.
Damn, what's going on, man? Long time.
Yeah, bro. It's cool to see you, man.
It's been a while. Even like I heard the instrumental of the just the introduction of the podcast, and I was like, man, I feel like I need to start rapping right now. I need to start freestyling or something.
That is an awesome feeling.
That's what it
bro.
felt like.
That's an awesome feeling, man. Like
Yeah.
I made that beat. I went on you know, YouTube, and I looked up some people saying Medianoche, and it just has that little. It kind of has an Adult Swim vibe.
Yeah, I can
You
see
know?
that. I can see that.
Definitely like reminds me of like back in those days, man. How you been?
Chilling, man. Keeping busy nowadays. It's been a long time since I've even like discussed anything hip hop related, but I've been good, man. Just family man now, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. The last time that I saw you was at Catalyst briefly.
Yeah, it was pretty brief. I was there with my wife. We were just in and out, just catching up with some homies and whatnot. So
Right, like as involved as you have always been with Catalyst, more like behind the scenes, it seems. You know, like, or I don't know if involved is the word, but just connected with the people at Catalyst, kind of behind the scenes. Like all the times that I went there, like I never saw you there. You know, like I probably just caught you on the days that you weren't there. You know.
yeah, we used to go there a lot, man. I mean, obviously, no shout out to Joel. Rest in peace. I mean,
Rest in peace,
that's
Joel, man.
My brother for life. You know, because of him. I mean, that's why it all started. So when I first got involved in Catalyst, you know, I was doing MC thing, and then I met Joel. Joel was super cool, and we just became friends, and
Yeah.
it was all so natural, you know. It was like we wanted to be there, and then from being there, just doing the hip hop stuff, it progressed into wanting to help out and contribute, and you know, assist him in doing what he was doing for other people that he did for us at the time.
Right. Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Joel, man.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I'm just really happy that the tradition has carried on even after like he passed, like with Props and Bonds holding it down, holding the fort down, and like just people just wearing the t-shirts. You know, it's just awesome, man. Like someone that radiated so much just unconditional positivity has till this day just the spirit stayed alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, his energy was beyond what anyone else had, and he'll say it was all due to God for sure. That it had nothing to do with him, and
Yeah.
whatever you believe, however you choose to perceive it, it's there. Like it's gonna live forever.
You know, man, like speaking of that, bro, like I be having conversations with homies, man, about God a lot. Like God is a reoccurring topic.
Yeah.
And like, but not on some preachy, not like on some preachy tip, more on some like just trying to comprehend tip, you know, like.
Yeah, people want to understand what they don't know, and obviously there's arguments against that if you want to get deep into it, like, you know, like the gap theory or whatever, like, oh, if I can't explain it, it has to be God. There's arguments to both sides of that. But yeah, man, it's very interesting when you really just look around you and the energy of people, and sometimes it's just it's what ends up being in front of your face, and you have to just research it and make the decision for yourself.
You know, it's funny, man. Like when I pray, right? Okay, normally I have noticed that with the guests that I invite over, like the homies that come through, we just chop it up.
Yeah.
I turn the mics on, I press record, the podcast starts, and it just organically goes right into hip hop, right? But like the few times that I talk with people about God, like it almost, cause I try not to like turn it into preachy. It's real easy to turn it
Yeah,
into
definitely.
preachy because you're so like you're so like I don't want to say convinced, but like you're just so connected to it that it almost seems a little condescending to talk about it with someone else that whatever it is they're going through doesn't really resonate with them.
They just don't get it the same, or they haven't been there, or they don't want to hear it, which is fine, regardless of how you slice it.
Yeah, man. And at that point, it's almost like how tolerant is one willing to be on both ends? You know, I get that a lot, man. Like, it's a little funny. People that disagree with me on certain things, I'm totally okay with being in the same room with them. You know,
as you should be, though. You know, if you're around a bunch of people that think just like you, I mean, I don't really think you're making that much progress in life. I mean, it's good to have your circle, right? Like, you want to have some like-minded people to some degree, but you can't always be the smartest person in the room, and you always want to deal with opposing ideas in all walks of life, I think.
It's almost like not even like a hip hop show. Like, it's in the hip hop show, you'll ask like, "Are y'all having a good time?" And it's expected for everyone to be like, "Yeah," but it'll be funny to hear some people scattered around be like, "Could be better," like,
or at least they'll just stay quiet. Or I mean, that happens too. You know, you're having a good time and the crowd's not even into it, and you have to do it 2-3 times. I mean, I've definitely seen that happen.
One memory that I will never forget. Right, I was in ninth grade. And because you and I went to Barbara Goldman, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
And I pulled up on you. I knew I was made aware of that you rapped. That you was like one of the doper ones. And
That's
I was
crazy.
Like, and I was like, word. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crazy, but like, it gets even crazier. Let me just, you know, bro, Minus, man. I pulled up on you and I was like, yo, Minus. You were taller than me, so you were like this titan, right?
Not that much taller.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe the hair at the time.
Yeah, yeah, because you had this like
I had the fro going. Yeah,
on.
man, hell yeah.
And I was like, yo, I changed my MC name is. You probably won't remember this, but like I haven't forgotten. I'm like, my MC name is Sniper, cause I see everything.
I actually remember Sniper and then Descendant.
And then you were like, that's cool. I remember like now in retrospect, you were like really holding in the cringe, like when I was like Sniper. You were like, okay, that's cool, man.
Probably.
But that's one thing that I really like, bro. Minus, man, like. I haven't really seen you, and it's been like easily a decade.
Outside of that time in Catalyst, at least, 10 years.
You know, I turned around and it's like this mythical creature as Minus. You know, like,
just about with all the tattoos now and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. You've been all right. I couldn't process it because like you like were like one of the predominant like big homies to me when this new thing of rap started to consume my life, and I was like, yo, I want to be Sniper, man, because I see everything. You know what I'm saying, man? And you were like, yeah, that's cool. You could have totally shot it down, and I don't know how I probably would have taken that because I can't speak I don't want to speak in theoreticals, you know? But, like, the fact that you were supportive, thank you, bro.
No, yeah. I mean, the reality is with the name, you can call yourself whatever you want. I mean, depending how good you are is what's going to make that name mean something. That's how I think I always seen it that way. I'm not too sure, but you can call yourself whatever you want. I mean, if you take someone's personality and their skill set and their branding and everything away from a name, the name itself, you can go through a list of names and names of companies and they all sound kind of whack, right? But when someone makes something out of that, hey, man, you want to call yourself that, make it dope and it'll be dope.
Right.
That's it. That's all there is to it.
Like you make the name.
Yeah, you make the name. Look at Nike, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like just remove the brand, the check mark, and everything they are. You just say the name to someone with no history. It's like, okay, that's weird. Yeah. But it's become what they made it. So that's why I never had an issue with names. I mean, you call yourself whatever you want. It's cool.
Do people still be calling you Minus? Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Even at work now, like people call me Minus.
Damn,
it's insane. It's a nickname. When I came in, one of my homies, Charles Fast, he got me the job. I do computer stuff now.
Shout out Charlie Fast.
Yeah,
man.
Charlie Fast, man. And he introduced me as Minus. It's like, yeah, this Charles, but we call him Minus. And I was like, oh, Minus. And even to this day, man, like my boss calls me Minus. It's weird because they don't know the MC stuff and the hip hop stuff, just the name. And yeah, it's just a little odd because it kind of triggers some memories sometimes. But yeah, it still goes around. It's pretty cool. Even my wife calls me Minus. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Damn, that's what.
Still there.
That's wild, man. But maybe they call you Minus. You say you do computer stuff. They probably the context of what you do now with the name, they probably associate minus with just tech stuff, like
Yeah, they
you
might think
know,
it's some digital thing or technical reference, but
little do they know, man.
little do they know.
Yeah,
Little do I
bro.
know.
Man, like I remember, bro. Damn, I remember you. Okay, history. Let's go back real quick.
All right.
I remember when, cause you were the one that I kind of spoke to like the most out of all the people in the school in the neighborhood. Like I kind of like I resorted to talking with you about.
We were cool.
I was like, yo, okay, tell me more about this Miami scene. Cause like y'all were the ones, you specifically were the one that was like, yeah, you know, hey, listen, Tupac is dope. Yeah, all that radio stuff is dope, but let me put you on, you know? You kind of like.
Yeah, well, let's, you know, Tupac is obviously definitely the best, but I think, you know, when you look back in like everything he's done and just the entire resume, but at the time, although we were definitely into the mainstream stuff, it was like there was this whole underground culture that was just really cool, and just people who didn't have that fame. And it's like, yo, these people are good, they're talented, you know, they're legends, but there's other people who deserve that recognition. Like you should definitely give them a listen.
And you were and this is you in high school, with this rhetoric that's not common.
I don't even know how I got it, to be honest.
I was kind of hoping you remembered. I was gonna
yeah,
ask
man.
you.
I mean, just as far as like how I got there. Well, look, going back to when I first heard hip hop, right? That I remember in middle school, one of the first groups I ever been introduced to is Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
I tell everyone all the time, the best rap album of all time, in my opinion, is East 1999. That's it.
Yep.
From beginning to end, you can play that album.
Yep.
Like, it's one of the best records, and I had it. And in middle school, I wasn't really into hip-hop that much. Like, I mean, I was into it. I was definitely an avid listener, but I wasn't trying to rap or anything on my own. But I had my homies back then in middle school, and we would try to imitate the flow, right? Because everyone else was rapping, but Bone Thugs was really quick.
Yeah.
Then you had, like, Bone Thugs. You had Twista, Do or Die. I mean, that whole speed flow was really sick. So we were definitely in middle school just trying to like imitate that and rap over the record, but we never really ventured off into trying to freestyle on our own. But that was the first thing. So when I got into high school, you know, I heard that and I was like, yo, it's just dope. I couldn't even explain it. Like, I just loved it. And then because I loved it so much, I was just like, yo, let me do some research on this. Like, it has to be more than what's on the radio, right? You tend to meet people. Oh, it's underground, backpack. I mean, some people hated it, some people loved it. And I just did my own research and I fell into the culture that was more underground at the time.
Yeah, you know, that makes sense, man, because I remember you used to drive around in that hatchback Volkswagen.
Yeah, the Volkswagen. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then like I would go and you would let me like ride with you here and there. And I remember one time I had like a beverage without the lid, and you looked at me and you were like, "Descendant, do not let that drink spill in my car, please." And I was like, "Word." And I was concerned because you were a heavy foot with the pedal. So you were like in that little Volkswagen, like, cause you would work on cars and soup it up.
Yeah, still into it, man, big time.
And like when that thing pulled off, I was like, I saw the liquid like shift in the cup, and I filled it all the way up to the top too. And I'm like, oh my god,
can't fill it up to the top, man. But you gotta keep the whip clean at all times. That's been something that's, you know, from then to now. That has not changed.
And like for me, in my young mind, like it was just cool being called Descendant. Like you respected the transition from like Sniper to Descendant, dude, and I was like, cool, man. You know, he gets it, you know?
Yeah, you made the name, you believed in it, you were rocking, and it's all good, man. I mean, mine is like on its own, again, that can be dumb, but it's like, hey, it's what people call me, it's what I grew up on, it's what I made through when I was emceeing and stuff. So yeah, it's your name, it's yours. You gotta respect that, no matter what it is.
Let me tell you, man, Minus, bro, like you were so fucking dope on the mic, man. When you would just sign up to the battle, like I remember since we were in Hialeah and we would like kind of ride out to jams together for a little while. You sometimes like Gels would ride with us, or
shout out to Gels, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, you know, like just the homies. Danny, you know, Danny,
Crunch Time is killing it right now.
Yeah,
best beatboxers I've ever heard, and
right,
traveling the world and whatnot.
And I remember you and I would like practice before going to like. We'll like battle each other before going to the battle and really signing up. And like I could never beat you. You know, like you would just.
And that's how I felt with Recognize. Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, recognize.
it's crazy. That's how I felt with other people, you know. So I guess it was part of the transition.
Yeah, I remember how hyped you were, man, when Rec like had reached out to you to like join. What was the name of that crew that he had back in the day? It was like a crew, Parallax.
Parallax. Well, yeah, it definitely didn't reach out to me to join, but you know, I became friends with Rec after battling and stuff. I did go to his house. I was able to record with him. It was him and Barabbas. Barabbas, yeah, he had that crew with Barabbas, and that was sick. I got the tape from them. Like, I definitely I learned so much from him and whatnot, and he just not trying to be part of the crew or nothing, but he extended his friendship to me, and it was just really dope to just be able to rock with them and learn with them, and
right, man.
And even though it wasn't that much, but I learned so much from him and Barabbas and just recording, and yeah, man, I learned a lot from everybody.
Shout out to Recognize, man. Like Rec, bro. Like, damn, dog, it's crazy how people just know him for Mayday.
His history here is crazy.
They don't know, man. Nowadays, they think MTV Battle. That's it.
And it goes so much more beyond that.
They don't know, man.
Nah, man. So obviously, when I was rapping in high school, we had our circle of people, and then eventually, I wanted to get out of that. Like, all right, this is cool. I started getting a little better, a little more confident. Whether I was good or not at the time was debatable, at least during the beginning. But you moved out of that, and it was a totally different world. You know what I mean? So one of the main cats was obviously Recognized. It was Parable. It was Serum. It was Mind Shift. I don't know if you remember Mind Shift.
I remember Mind Shift, yeah.
One of the first videos I saw was Parable battling Mind Shift. And that was at probably the Polish American.
Yep.
So that whole circle was some of the first guys I saw.
Jin, too.
Well, Jin, obviously, Jin was amazing at the time. He's still rapping, too. I mean, I checked out his Twitter the other day. He's making music. He's killing it.
Yep.
Doing all type of media. And he was obviously, up there. But that was definitely like, I came from high school. I thought I was okay, right? And then you see these monsters. And it's like, wow, these guys are dope. But it's like, yeah, I want it, man. Let's get in there, Like, even if I get smoked, like, I'm about to learn something. Because you can't be the biggest fish in the pond, right? So you got to get out of there if you really want to get better.
Right.
And that's what happened. I mean, I got smoked so much. One of my first battles was against Jin. And he pretty much smoked me, man. I forgot what club that was. It was a small club, but it was Potential. It was Parable. It was Jin. It was a few of those cats. And, the So What crew. Shout out to So What back in the day, man.
Man.
That's another group of homies. And, yeah, man, Jin just, like, destroyed me. I think I got booed off stage. It was, like, crazy. But it wasn't anything personal, right? Like, it's whoever gets put in front of you, you are going to do the most amount of verbal damage to them, no matter who it is. And then from that, you build relationships. So I got cool with everyone. And once you learn that it wasn't personal, even if they had premeditated lines for you or whatever the case may be, once you realize, like, hey, man, he's going to do it to this person, to you, whoever it is, and you become cool, it's like this gladiator realm, right?
Yeah,
and it's really dope.
You almost like get jumped into this like alumni.
It definitely feels that way when you get smoked in a battle. Like it will hurt your feelings.
Yeah, like
it is rough.
Like my first battle was out in the Breakers Dozen, and that was because this is the thing. Like you were in the rotation of people that hung on to the VHSs that Parable had. Mm-hmm. Parable. Someone has to have these VHSs.
Parable got him. I remember speaking to him years ago, and he mentioned that he had him. Whether I know he's a real busy cat nowadays, but I know he had him. And then my boy D'Angelo, I was talking to him after we heard the Serum podcast, and I think he commented on the YouTube channel. He actually has some of the South Beach ciphers on tape. So I got to get with him, and we got to see about bringing those and putting them on YouTube and seeing what's up.
Yeah, everyone that has any footage, any VHS footage of these battles, whether good or bad, doesn't matter. Like, these things need to be uploaded and just uploaded into this like library, that way that if anyone that wants to see like Miami underground hip hop has these archived, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll be pretty dope.
Like, I remember you lent me one VHS, and my first impression was, it's just funny because talking about this now, it almost seems a little feeble because like it seems small to people that weren't involved, but to people that were involved, this is their sentimental value of like the involvement of it,
No, big time.
And like I remember watching, like it was like a couple battles. I remember seeing like the barbershop. What was the barbershop battles?
Oh man, I forgot the barbershop battles. Those were in Kendall.
That like reggae wear.
The reggae wear ones were dope. Like that's when I think I first saw Live Chaos out there, like just ripping everyone.
Right.
And the barbershop battles were crazy. I remember there was one cat, Armageddon. I don't know if you remember Armageddon.
I'm sure if I watch the battles, I'll like remember.
I forgot who he was battling, and then someone like took his glasses off or something, and there was about to be like a rumble. Man, yo, that felt crazy. That was crazy. And I think it was recognized that ended up winning that battle.
Yeah,
One of those main events that it was like super crazy.
Yeah, man, and like it was just funny. Like the thing is that to me, it was just it was a little like wild getting to know these MCs through videotape and then getting dropped off at a Breaker's Dozen, and these same people walk in the door, and it's like 3D versions of what was on the TV.
Yeah, it's like seeing celebrities at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. Like, damn, that's wild, bro. You know, and like people don't really know what that's like now. I would imagine because in social media, like these high resolution videos, it's too good. You know?
Yeah, it's like reality just right there in front of your face all the time. Like you feel connected to everyone.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like there's always like this. Like back then, I think growing up, there was some mystery to life, right? Even the movies and athletes and whatnot. Like you didn't see anything about them. You just saw them perform, which is what we saw with the battling. Right nowadays, everyone has a Twitter. There's a behind the scenes to everything. You see behind the scenes to a music video before the music video comes out.
Right.
So it's like that mystery isn't there.
Yeah, there's no magic.
Yeah, there's no magic, and it's cool because from a technology point of view, it brings everyone together in a way that's never been done before. But it kind of that's kind of like the little bit left that we had that were children in us, right? That was kind of magical to some degree. That was just really cool, you know?
Yeah.
And then you kind of lost, all right, you know how everything is made. You know how everything is done. So now you just go out there and it's all right, just do it. And it just becomes this treadmill of doing things.
Yeah, man. It's like, it's a little unfortunate shit, man. You telling me that makes me just want to like y'all aren't going to hear from me for 3 years and you're only going to see these little obscure signs that I'm somewhere, you know?
Hey, you can do it, man. You could just, leave social media altogether and just travel and tour and see how it works out for you. But
it won't work out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it won't work out at all.
So you got to do it. You have to be part of the machine, man. You got to be part of the machine. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, man. Like you saying that, man, like it really puts into perspective, bro, like just how just like the aesthetic back in the day, bro, of how these little stupid little VHS tapes that people didn't even think much of, like time passes, they become all the more like rare and just valuable and just appreciated, and like it creates a demand because there's less of it,
Yeah.
Like there are some cats that I know that they don't have their they don't have their music on. They have all this music, but they do not put it on Spotify, Apple Music. They just don't do none of that. They're like, you want it, you're gonna have to hit them directly, or it's only available at their show. Like, it's just funny how people, they go against the grain to kind of stay a little bit like enigmatic.
Yeah, to have some exclusivity to what they do in their brand, which is kind of cool, but things will work themselves out if people want to get it,
Yeah, and then I remember some time later you got into like this crew called
Sound Science, man.
Sound Science.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
It's the homies right there.
Yeah, you still in contact with them?
A few of them, here and there. Nothing major, but definitely a few of them here and there. I keep in touch as much as not like we don't talk often, but we're connected through social media. And I saw one of them, Kareem. He was one of the producers many years ago. I saw him at Catalyst, and he was doing like still, I think, producing and doing some photography and media stuff. I haven't really spoken to anyone else too in depth beyond that, but definitely through social media you always see posts like, oh, this cat's doing this and he's doing that, and it's kind of cool in that regard.
Like, what's your take on just that whole concept of being once so close with people and now they moved on, and like, what's your take on that?
I mean, it's pretty crazy, right? Like, you were so close and you were so connected, and then everyone just splits. And then nowadays it's like you think like social media is gonna bring that together, but it's not. It's not the same as actually hanging with people every day, right?
Yeah.
Like we were in high school, like I saw you guys every single day. Every day at a certain time, we were gonna be physically together and we were gonna be freestyling, and it was so much fun,
Yeah.
And it definitely sucks, but it's part of growing up, right? It's just, I think that's part of life. It's part of the cycle. You kind of got to grow out of it, because you're not, even if everyone, let's say, was still rapping and doing the same thing, even what they're going to rap about is going to be different. So there's going to be some disconnect there.
You know what? You saying the way that they rap is going to be different. I want to touch back on this topic real quick. I'm just going to go off on a tangent.
Nah, let's do it.
One thing that you said that resonated with me till this day, it even like has influenced kind of like my rhyming style minus, man.
Oh, man.
Like, listen, no, check me out. Like when Eminem came out with the Encore album, right? People were hating on it. They were like, "This, what is this? This isn't Slim Shady or Marshall Mathers style, you know." But you picked up on how Eminem's rhyming techniques were like out of the traditional pocket. Like you noticed it. You were like, nah, listen. You think that he's slacking with the wordplay or whatever rapidy rap shit. But if you listen closely, there are rhyme patterns sprinkled everywhere that you don't expect them to be.
Yeah, but you really got to pay attention. But it was dope. If you really paid attention, there were some gems in there.
Like low key, listen, like even though the ratio of like the greater songs on that album, low key, like I know this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, and I don't care. Y'all can hate me. I don't give a fuck. But like, Encore might be my favorite Eminem album now, at like 10 years later.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go back and really listen to it, and yeah, it's just it was there, man. Just the lyrics were there, you know. Obviously, as music, as songs, as a popular single, it might not have been, but remember, the shock value wore off.
Exactly.
So you can't hit that crazy Kim song, like that Kim joint where he like kills Kim, and that's one of my favorite joints. I've always joked with my friends, like, I wish I was in the studio when he was recording that. Like, that must have been insane. But you can't do that again. So it's like, okay, you still have all this talent, because at least from what I remember, he came from that MC culture.
Right.
And he was just doing it on his platform. And I thought it was pretty dope. And eventually, I think a lot of people recognized that with several other albums too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that song, Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, that was dope.
That song is incredible, man. Like, is that album, that's the thing, this whole shock value, people associate talent with shock value when it comes to rap, especially if you come from a rap battle background. They expect you to be punchline heavy, but like, you need to evolve.
Yeah, it's about storytelling.
From that, and because to me, the trick is with storytelling, because you're telling stories of your life. If you can somehow, some way find the perfect rhyme schemes to convey a clear message while painting a literal, real picture, not fictional, real, you know? That, to me, is elite lyricism. And Eminem achieved that on that album, and people overlooked it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And remember, it's not even about, like, what you say turns into what you said. So what you said still needs to be remembered and not that overshadowed by what you say.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult, I think.
You know, word, man. Like, I'm glad that you know, that's the thing, bro. Like, when I was really paying attention, man, when I was hanging out with you a lot, and like, I was really paying attention. I don't know what it was. I kind of became obsessive over just this idea of wanting to become a skillful MC. It was just one of the few things that I was good at. And like, you were like much better than I was. And I was like, yo, this guy is a cool guy. Let me just kind of like stick around a little bit and just pick up on whatever I can. And like, you know, man, I can't thank you enough, man. It's crazy.
That's crazy, man. I mean, I'm glad I could have played that role, you know? To be honest, like, thinking about it now, there's so much back then that I kind of pushed out of my mind. But, you know, when you told me, when you hit me up about the podcast, I was like, all right, let me gather my thoughts. And it was a really good time, you know? And I'm honored that you even considered me that. Because it came with a lot of effort, man. Like, let me tell you, it came with a lot of sacrifice and practice and getting smoked and just going to competitions and losing until you figure it out. Then it became fun.
You said, you call yourself Rubik's, but you're not too complicated. I remember that. I remember that line, bro.
Damn.
When you battled Rubik's, and I remember like it was him, then you, then him, then you again. You know. And the first round against him, I remember before you signed up, you were like, I'm kind of off today, which was like how even on your off day, you still signed up and was like, whatever, man. Like,
yeah, you got to get it in. It's training, man. You don't want to go to the gym, but you still got to go to the gym.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I need to take that advice.
I got to do it, man.
But like that second round, your first round was like you still weren't
yeah, you got
there.
fillers and you're trying to figure it out. Yeah.
And then your second round, you were like, and then you hit him with that line. And that one line like just overshadowed everything that Rubik's had told you, and he was consistently nice with it both rounds, you know?
Yeah, which is crazy because to some degree, I guess it depends on who's judging, but if you're going by the crowd, I think the mentality has always been, at least in the freestyle era, what have you done for me lately? You know, so you can have 3 verses, but you end it strong, and that's what they're gonna remember.
To me, it's the best era, bro. I mean,
It was dope. It was dope.
It's nothing against URL, King of the Dot. I mean, mind you, I'm such a rap fan. I almost start like I feel like I talk about it a little too much sometimes. But like nah, man, rapping on the beat, freestyle, that's the best, man. I don't care, bro. This is there's the real magic. You know?
I mean, I really, when I was getting out of the battling at the time, and I think I believe I was transitioning into making music, at least trying. You know, I was like, okay, I accomplished things that I wanted to accomplish. I won competitions. I felt confident. I was like, all right, I'm gonna start easing out of this and getting into making music. And I think around that time was when the acapella battles started really coming up. Even though they were before, you had the Smack DVD, you had Meek Mills, you had Papoose, you had that New York stuff, and that was kind of like bringing it in. But then the competition started coming up, and I was already kind of out of it, so I had no real interest in doing it. In my mind at the time, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna put that much effort into memorizing a verse, I might as well make a song.
Exactly.
You know, at the time.
100%.
So that's how I saw it.
I agree. I agree, man. It's like if you're gonna dedicate your energy into doing one of the two, you might as well do like the music, man. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, you could do the battling. I mean, some of these guys, obviously, they're leaving their mark in hip hop, you know, but I don't know, making music just became more interesting after so many battles. After so many battles, it's like, okay, you know, and especially that circle of people, right? Start moving on. Jin went on to 106 and Park.
Yep.
Recognized went on to MTV. Parable had his stuff. And
Parable was touring a lot with
Yeah.
What's this tour?
I forgot the name. Oh my God, Parable, you're gonna kill me. I forgot the name.
Nah, hold on. Warp Tour. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
was
but
on,
he had his group though, which is pretty recent. It was him and someone else.
with Max Soto on the keys. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, well, listen, man. I wanted to ask you, man, on a more serious tip, bro. Like you mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you're okay with talking about it, minus, man. But you said that when you started to kind of like distance yourself from the whole thing, like I always wanted to ask you why, man.
Nah, it's all good, man. I really don't. I don't have a moment where I can pinpoint it. You know what I mean? I can't quite put my finger on like, okay, this day, this week, I fell off of it. But I vaguely remember, like, you know, we finished doing all the battling, which was years, right? Like that was all of high school.
Yeah, easily 4 or 5,
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
And I remember, you know, to go off real quick, back then there was like a jam every month.
Yeah.
Every month or every other month there was some jam. So
Yeah.
it was like constant, just bam, bam, bam. And then I went into making music. You know, then it was like, okay, I got the jitters from performing on stage out. I've been battling. I've been destroyed on stage. I've destroyed other people. I figured that out. But then when you go to make music, it's like you go again. It's like going from middle school to high school. You go from being the big fish in the small pond to big pond, little fish. Like, all right, you got to figure out some fundamentals again, right? You have to learn how to make ad-libs. You have to make music now, you know, because with freestyle and the battling, there was room for error to some degree. You messed up the previous bar, you know, you come with the next bar, you say something dope, people kind of forget it. It is what it is. But with making music, everything is recorded. You're really paying attention. So I had to start again. And, you know, I was with the Sound Science crew back then. And, you know, we dropped the mixtape. We did some stuff. And throughout that time, I don't know, I just kind of walked out. I lost interest in it.
Like maybe you got a little jaded.
Maybe, perhaps it was that. It's just, yeah, I wasn't that interested anymore. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep doing this if my heart's not in it. You know, my heart's not in it anymore. I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm not going to force myself to do it that much. And I just kind of moved on, man. And at the time, you know, I left high school. I was, you know, we were making music, but we were broke, right? You're trying to make some money. And I was always kind of good with the computer thing and the cars. And I was like, all right, I like the music, but let me try to focus on making a living. I never saw myself making it at the end. In the beginning, it was like, yo, I'm going to make it, right? Everyone thought that. Everyone's like, yo, everyone's battling to try and get it. That's the reality of it. Whether they admit it or not, in their mind, for the most part, like, wow, this is something I can make a living from. You watch the TV and you see artists, and you're like, okay, I can do this. And then that reality sets in for some people that they might not. Other people, they convince themselves that they will, even though they're not. So yeah, I just lost interest in it, and I told myself, I don't really want to do this anymore. You know, it wasn't my heart wasn't in it, and I just backed off and I went on to my own career, and I just went off, stopped doing it wherever it is that was, right? On top and the bottom, however you want to call it.
You know, it's funny, man. Like not what you're saying is funny.
Fine.
For me, what is funny for me is like, you know, man, it's bittersweet. You know, it's bittersweet because like I'm selfish in being like, no, I want you to rap. You know,
That's how Joel was.
like
Joel was like that. Joel, even though Joel respected me, he kept like poking me on the side, like, yo, get on stage, go freestyle, go freestyle. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm whack now, man. I can't do that.
And it's funny, like, I remember some time ago you got on stage and you started freestyling, and like 10 minutes went by and you were still freestyling.
Yeah,
you
we were.
know?
I remember that time.
just kept
Joel,
going and
that
going and
was from
going.
Joel, man. Joel was like, he almost got me angry. Like, all right, bro, I'm gonna do it. All right, man, let's go. Give me the mic. Give me the damn mic. I'm gonna go rip this.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, and to go from not rapping on a mic for years to freestyling at a very high level for 10 minutes says a lot, man. And that's why I am as a peer, as I haven't seen you in a long time, but bro, I'm your homie, man.
No, for sure. We go back, man. It's all
know?
good. It's all love. It's always gonna be love. And that goes for everyone else too, you know?
So like you like no longer pursuing rap is a bittersweet thing because I want you to, but I also have to understand that the world doesn't revolve around what I want.
I feel that.
People are living their own lives, and I'd rather see you happy and flourishing, living this American dream, than struggling with something that, even though maybe like in a perfect world, someone as dope as I think you are,
No, thank you, man.
like would thrive in it, the landscape is a little bit more tricky, you know?
It's way different. And I think the era that we all came from, we saw that whole transition from. Okay, so back in the day when I was first rapping, the way I personally got better, I did a lot of it online. And I think you and Cloud were talking about that as well. So
Yeah.
one of the sites that I went on a lot was mcbattles.com.
Uh-huh.
And there were some really dope lyricists there.
What was the name of the guy from California that you showed me some of his tracks? He had like a high-pitched
God,
voice.
was it Psychobabble? No, Psychobabble from New York.
It was a guy with a high-pitched voice. He had a really like funny flow, like really out there, almost kind of like on some Danny Brown shit.
Damn, damn, you're killing me, man. I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go home and try to figure that out.
Like I remember you would tell me that y'all would trade these little tracks back and forth, and you would show me these tracks, and I would be like, damn, that's crazy. Like, he's really good. I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, me neither, man. There was a lot of cats on mcbattles.com that were really dope.
Warbucks.
Warbucks, Mudfoot. I don't know if you remember Mudfoot. If anyone was on mcbattles.com, there was this cat named Mudfoot, and literally he was stomping everyone, man. And obviously it was different than listening to music because he's hyphenating his syllables and his punchlines and the connections, so you would see the breakdown. So it's kind of interesting watching someone write the rhymes as opposed to just listening to them.
Right.
So Mudfoot was really sick. Warbucks was sick. Then that was just the written stuff. And then from the written stuff, they moved on into audio, which was on SoundCloud back in the day. They were doing audio tracks. And that was the first time I heard Tone Deaf. Because Tone Deaf did the SoundCloud audio tracks as well. And essentially it's kind of like, you would have your competitor, they would have the tournaments on the forum, right?
Right.
You would sign up to the tournament. And then, all right, I don't remember if it was audio the whole time or it was like, all right, we're going to do written for the first top 16 or whatever. And then once we get the top 4, we'll do the audio tracks. And then you would pick a beat, any mainstream beat, record your verse, and put it up there. And that was the time I heard, I think Warbucks was on the audio. Mudfoot never got into audio, but this one dude, Psychobabble, was really sick. Tone Deaf was dope. And there was just a flurry of other cats that were really impressive.
Yeah, man, it's kind of wild how, like, in the underground, bro, there's just so much more of the dope stuff, in my opinion. Like,
yeah.
I mean, nowadays, so, like, when I went to the Atmosphere show in the Sevens Travels Tour, were you there at that show?
Revolution?
Yes.
Yes.
You were there, okay.
I was there.
I have some pictures of that show. I have some,
Oh,
I
snap.
have
Yeah,
some
yeah,
Polaroids here. I'll show you when we're done.
Please do.
Like, so I walked outside. I had bought Brother Ali's Shadows in the Sun album.
Okay.
I bought that, and I bought Sad Clown Bad Dub for the DVD.
Right.
And I walk outside, and I was like, and Brother Ali was there signing autographs. And then I had asked Brother Ali, I was like, yo, man, so Brother Ali, what's up, man? And I was like, yeah, so what is the difference between mainstream and underground? And he's like, I told him, yeah, what's up, man? My name's Descendant. I wonder what it must be like for him to like perform in front of a huge crowd of aspiring MCs, you know, because that's what most of it usually was.
Yeah, they
you know?
weren't normal fans. They
Yeah.
weren't little teenage girls. It was other people, like-minded individuals.
The boyfriends of the teenage
yeah,
girls.
the boyfriend of the teenage girls
Yeah.
for sure. They were there, they were there, but they weren't having fun.
Yeah, I walked up to Brother Ali and I was like, "What's the difference, man, between like, mainstream and underground, man?" And he was like, there is no difference. There's just," he told me, he was like, "There's no difference, man. Like, there's just different styles of rap,
Exactly.
and there are some people that have made it already, and some people that just haven't yet. Like my favorite, here's what he's telling me. Like my favorite MC of all time is Jay-Z, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, Jay-Z,
Like
what?
he's commercial, man. He's
Yeah,
that whack.
yeah, that's how it was. I'm like, really? Like that was I don't know why. Maybe in my mind I was expecting him to tell me Aesop or something, you know?
Nah, yeah, it's crazy, man. Because going back to the performances back in the day, I remember when I was, I guess, back then when I was doing the freestyling and battling and whatnot, I really emphasized on the underground stuff. That changed as I grew up.
Yeah.
But one of the first shows, I didn't go to too many shows, but one of the dopest shows I went to was at Club I.O.
Yeah.
It was Aesop Rock, Mr. Liff, and C. Ray's Walls.
Wild.
And C. Ray's Walls was also a known battler at the time.
Right.
I remember getting vinyl and stuff and signing it and talking to him and whatnot. And watching them perform, like, was so dope. Like, it was just incredible. So at that moment, I was like, okay, these guys are very impressive because they're right there. It's not like you're in a stadium and that person, you'll never see them, you never can buy them or whatever, right?
Yeah, small
Like,
shows is where it's at.
yeah, after the show, Aesop was just literally sitting on stage and just talking to people. Wow. And I was a fan, so you would talk to him and just say, what's up? I'm a fan. And people were like, oh, no one was trying to like freestyle for him or nothing, but they were like human at that point.
Right.
And that's kind of where the emphasis to the underground came in. It's like, okay, it's underground because they're more human, they're more relatable to us.
Right.
Where the celebrities were another notch, they were on another planet, you'll never talk to them, never see them.
Right.
So that's kind of how I saw it back in the day. But then as I got older, I grew up, although I know how to separate different types of rap, right? I mean, trust me, I'll listen to A$AP Rock, I'll listen to Lil Wayne, I'll listen to Schoolboy Q, I'll listen to Quell. I listen to everything. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, and I know, like I understand that some of these guys rapping are not trying to be lyricists, and that's where I put that. And when I want lyricism, I go to the lyricism. But now there's another argument where people are like, oh, well, that's not real hip hop. Hip hop is a culture. And some people are like, no, hip hop is just rapping. So there's a lot of arguments about that, which is very interesting when you talk about if you want to go back to the elements of the breakdance and the graffiti, the DJing, or you just want to say rap as a lifestyle is hip hop. So there's people that see it both ways.
Yeah. Well, I can see it from both sides, but I am more of a traditional enthusiast of hip hop.
No, nothing wrong with that.
And being like, yo, listen, if you never even decided to look into what a DJ does to hone his craft, or a graffiti artist or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. But now that you've been made aware of it, it would do you good to at least look into it a little bit.
No,
you know?
for sure. Yeah, and it should be part of anyone studying hip hop. But I think it's not nowadays.
But these cats that's like they're just totally 100% like, nah, to hell with that. I don't got no time for that shit. I'm here making money. To me, that's like, I don't know. You are not only are you selling yourself short, but like I can't hate on you. You know, I mean, and also I'm not gonna lose no sleep on what you decide
no, of
to
course.
do.
And you're talking about people who were rapping at the time, or like fans.
Currently, people that are like, for example, the ones like you mentioned, like you mentioned Lil Wayne, Schoolboy Q, which I think they're dope.
Schoolboy Q is dope, like,
incredible.
Yeah.
You know, but like the fans of these bigger artists that are young, they don't know what it's like. They didn't grow up in the early 2000s. They were born in the early 2000s. You
Right.
know, so like they just don't know, and it's not their fault. But you can only be ignorant once. Once you're made aware of something. At that point, it's a conscientious decision to just like, you know.
No, yeah, I definitely feel you there, man. Actually, I try to give everything a chance, right? I listen to the Little Pumps of the world, the new SoundCloud rappers. I mean, I try to listen to it, and I make my own decision. I don't going off on a tangent real quick. Like for like movies, like Rotten Tomato, I don't like going to Rotten Tomato. I don't want to see other people's reviews. Like I watch it, I make my own decision. Same thing for these new rappers. But you listen to these new rappers, and even some of them publicly proclaim, I don't want to be a lyricist. I don't want to be dope. I just want to make money. It's exactly what you're saying. And it's like, okay, you can't you can't hate on them because they're saying what they want,
Right.
But you can't blame them because it's the people. If the people keep buying it, they're gonna keep making it. If the people stop buying it, they're going to stop making it. So it's the fans. But then at the same time, I think when you go back to the 80s and the 90s, maybe the fans of the Eric B and Rakims were looking at more of the DMX and the Onyx and be like, the old school heads were maybe hating on the younger heads there. So I want to say that there is a clear difference now because they're admitting, I don't want to be a lyricist. I don't care about being lyrical. I don't care about telling a story. I just want to make club music. They're admitting that, but I don't know, man. It's people keep buying it, they keep making it. It is what it is. There's really not much to go deep into it. It's just part of the culture and where it's evolved to.
But low key, like these new cats, like they be saying some dope shit, man. Like
Like here's the thing. I think a lot of cats hate on the new artists, and that's not entirely fair because there's some new artists that are
it's
dope.
Totally unfair,
But then there's some SoundCloud rappers that it's like, okay, whatever, you're making music but you get 20 million views. I mean, who am I to tell that person something? It's like, hey man,
yeah,
it's 20 million people streaming your song. I don't got that, so do you, man?
Yeah, it's definitely like, hey man, listen, like you're obviously doing something right because you're not selling drugs and you're not like pimping some hoes out. You're just making music that's fun for people. That everyone has their niche, their audience.
Yeah, exactly. Although some of these new rappers, man, they promote that drug stuff like crazy. Like they promote drug usage because it's different. When I think back in the day, you had these rappers who were speaking about their experiences, but not necessarily glorifying it. It's like, yo, I went through this and I embraced what I went through. But they don't want to go through that again. Right. So now it's like they're glorifying it, and it's just tough, man. It's tough to really think about, and there's going to be a lot of sides on that discussion.
And there's no point. There's no point in trying to like reason with them because I've noticed that like people nowadays are very, very good at debating you by taking things out of context to support their argument and throw and try to poke holes in yours by some technicality that, like, all it is just shifting attention away from.
And that's not even a proper debate. Like I remember, I was watching one of the new videos. It was like French Montana. It was produced by Diplo, French Montana, Little Pump, whatever. It was for the Deadpool movie, and I was watching the video. And okay, songs, it's popping, good background music. It's pretty much a club joint. It's a dance joint. And I was reading the comments. And someone's like, oh, Little Pump is whack. And then the responses are like, yo, nah, screw you. He's rich. You're poor. You're a piece of shit. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I kind of lost sight of, is this trolling or are these kids really obsessed with this? Or maybe it was lack of social media. But it's like, yo, like if you didn't like someone, I don't like that person. That's one thing. But now it's like, I know for a long time, I feel like people in general maybe have been obsessed with celebrities. But if you see these new wave rappers and you say something wrong, like, yo, they come to their defense as if like, yo, like he has money, you're broke, you're a piece of shit. Like that's all that matters. And that kind of sucks because obviously in real life, we know that that's not what determines success. It's great, but it's definitely not that. So seeing that is kind of whack.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the old school Windows computers where you'll click on a website and all these pop-ups just flood your screen one after the other. And you got to X out of each one.
Yeah, man.
And then more keep popping up and you're like, oh,
you
God.
Can't get away from it. And even, I definitely don't want to get into politics, but like if you have an unpopular idea, oh man, like you are going to get reamed.
Yeah,
and it's
100%.
It's different than, yo, I don't agree with you. Like, I don't like that artist. Okay, cool. All right, you don't like him. That's fine. But it's like you say something and they're going to go at you, man. And that's kind of scary, too. But
it is scary because it's like, I mean, listen, Common has this one line where he goes, if I don't like it, I don't like it. It don't mean that I'm hating. You remember
Exactly. And that's completely fair. And I don't know why people don't see it that way. They find the need to defend it. And I think it's maybe because if you don't like it, they take it as you're offending them, like, oh, are you saying that I have poor taste in music? And then they just maybe start making up shit in their mind as to that you're somehow dissing them by not agreeing with something that they choose to represent or that they enjoy.
Right.
And again, that goes beyond hip hop, but definitely in hip hop, it's kind of crazy. And also today, between Instagram and Twitter, I mean, everyone has a voice. So these people who maybe back then they would have been yapping as much, who knows, But nowadays, everyone got a voice.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, what's interesting is that, like, you read a comment, right? You read a comment, and what you're looking at is words on a screen from someone. and then you click on the person that said it, and it shows like this like 13-year-old or this like or what seems to be like just a teenager, like a young teenager, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what they are saying is less important than an adult, but it's just it's amazing how the statement without a face attached to it holds so much more weight than in context to who it's coming from, you know?
Yeah, and also people, you know, like anything else, the majority of those kids are not going to say anything in real life. It's like playing Xbox. You go online, you got a 12-year-old cursing you out. They're not going to say it to you in real life. Just hiding behind a keyboard adds some form of strength for a majority of people.
Yeah.
Even if they show their face. Because think about it. How many people have you seen on social media? You're never going to see them in real life. How many people in TV commercials? You're never going to walk by that person. The chances of you dealing with them is so small that even if they have their face and where they live and their city and their state, it doesn't mean anything, man.
Yeah,
They think they can say whatever they want.
You'll like link up with a homie and do like what Jay and Silent Bob did, where like they start knocking on the doors. Are you? And they read the screen name.
Yeah.
And it's like jumping them. It's like all kids that answer the door.
I mean, definitely not something that I condone doing, but you see some of these comments and you're like, man, you need to get the shit slapped out of you. But maybe when I was young, I said, and not maybe, I probably did said and did some stuff like that some older cat saw me and said, yo, get this guy out of here. So I don't think it was that bad. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was totally that bad because you grow up. But man, you watch it now and it's like, you know, it's funny. I was talking with a homie of mine and it's like back in the day, you're like, oh, your dad's complaining about money. Now I'm a dad. And I tell my daughter, like, yo, turn off the TV. You're not watching it. What are you doing? So
damn,
you kind of become that. I ain't made of money. What's wrong with you? And you take a deep breath. You're like, damn. But it's definitely interesting and pretty fun too, you know?
Nah, because as time passes, you gain perspective, and then
You should. If you don't, I mean, man, I feel bad for you.
like, yo, you grow up and you're like, okay, now I understand. Like my dad, every now and then he'll be like, listen, when you have a kid, you'll understand. That phrase is a reoccurring phrase in my life.
Man,
you know?
it is real.
And like, listen, I don't even have a kid. I have a dog, and I'm starting to understand. I'm like, damn, I need to do some things. But like, listen, man, like I remember this one time, bro, like on social media, I had reached out to this one kid, right? This is when I was still kind of like actively like trying to capitalize on the potential that Instagram has for you to connect with people.
Right.
And like I connected with this one cat, right? And I was like, yo, listen, man, this was when I was still on that, yo, check out my music tip, you know? And he was like, all right, for sure. And 5 of his friends commented on my comment being like, yo, shit trash, yo, shit trash, yo, shit trash. And I was like, okay. Like you can kind of differentiate what's trolling and what's just like genuine, like negative, like, yo, I heard you and I really don't think you're good, you know? And like I remember I was like, well, thanks for hearing it, you know? And then
that's all you can say, man.
And then some of the kids were like, I didn't hear it, bro. It's just trash.
Trust me, it's like
like how can you like they may be mad at that?
Yo,
it's just so funny.
They make up their mind before doing anything, and it's part of the internet, I guess. You know, the internet in today's time, man.
Maybe what makes it trash to them was my seeking validation for it. You know?
Maybe, but if you think about it, I mean, everyone who's famous at one point wasn't. So it's like they want everything to be established already.
Yes.
And it's like, whoa, but you got to get there.
Exactly.
So how do you get there
but listen,
without getting there? It's crazy.
Okay, like I'll use Eminem as an example. Like I remember on the internet I found like this you know, you can find anything on Google if you know the search terms.
Unfortunately.
If you look up like Eminem press release forum, those keywords, something like that. Maybe not forum, but something along those lines.
Right.
You'll see a website that has a screenshot of like this manager that was managing Eminem and being like, new release by Eminem, aka Slim Shady, and then the information of the release.
Right.
But just that alone, that little representation made him look more official than some other equally famous or not famous MC being like, yo, check my stuff out. This whole like check me out, like psychologically, it leaves this impression on the person that you're talking to that you're struggling. You know?
It does, but I feel like it's been a cycle, right? Like at the beginning, it's like, okay, all those rappers at the time are like, check my music out, right? Handing out mixtapes, doing whatever, which everyone did at one point. Then it turned to, okay, if you have a manager or someone pumping out those press releases for you, then you are a step above. But now with social media, you don't need a record label anymore. You can go on SoundCloud, make your own music, pump it out, and it's almost back to that check my music out. But then now it's like there's no longer, from what I understand, there's no longer a normal record deal. You get like social media deals. You don't get an album deal, you get a single deal.
Yeah.
So now they went from you didn't have anyone, you needed a middleman, you needed a label, you needed an executive, you needed an AR, whatever. And then now we had that era, that's gone. Now you don't need anyone and you're independent. So it's kind of crazy. Even though I get what you're saying, like you tell someone, yo, check out my music, they may have that perception, but nowadays everyone is on that check my music.
Yeah, and then it almost starts to look cooler if you're like, I don't care if no one checks it, though. I know my shit tight.
Hey,
and
man, if you're not wanted, they want you, right?
Yeah. Word. Yes. Word, man. And I can understand how some people will just be like, I could understand at that point, like all these weird mind games of trying to get known in the hip hop game will just make somebody be like, man, I'm just going to work on cars. Like, let me
I'm going to do something else.
Let me just work on something else that I enjoy doing.
I mean, a lot of people, but also, like you have to, not for everyone, because again, going back to like Recognize, for example, and Mayday, like they made it. I think I like to consider it that way. They're making music, they're traveling,
They 100% made it,
yeah, they
bro.
made it. I consider that. But again, you talk to like a teenager and be like, oh no, they're not platinum selling artists and acting like buffoons on YouTube. They didn't make it. But to me, they made it. They're making a living from it. So like you see that and you're like, okay, that's amazing.
100%.
Not everyone was capable of that. Some people are gonna make it, and some people aren't. That's just the reality of it. We can go deep into it and talk about it all day, but some people are gonna make it, and some people aren't. And you have to make the decision. Of when you want to let that go, if you want to let that go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that I'm on my way, bro.
No,
like,
you got to do it, man.
I think that I'm on my way. Minus, man. Like, I almost feel like if I were to ever be like, oh, fine, I quit, like, and just pawn all my shit, like, I'll be like Al Bundy, like just sitting on the couch, just mad that nothing came from all my efforts. And man, like I have this weird thing. I almost feel like, I know this sounds, I don't want to come off like egotistical by saying this, but it's like, bro, God has looked out for me so many times, man.
I feel that.
Like when I was not for nothing, man, but like when I was arrested, man, I had all my studio equipment in my car. I had all my video equipment in my car. I had everything. My whole life was in my car, bro. And like no one broke into it when I was in jail. Like
that's amazing.
All my stuff was there. When I was in California, I was in a show. I went to a hip hop. So I had flown out. I had paid for a plane ticket for my friend Kimber, who does my videos, to come out and film some videos for me, right? And I went to Oakland to go to some hip hop show that I saw this guy, this DJ Sean G, I think his name is.
Okay.
And like I parked my car across the street. This was before I got arrested. And like I come out, and not even an hour later, someone broke into my car, right? And they stole my this camera bag that I had. I had a Canon 5D in there, Mark III. I had a MacBook Pro, my iLock for Pro Tools, and like all my hard drives with every song that I had ever written, my whole life was just taken. There was glass everywhere. I remember my brain broke that night. I must have driven like 130 miles an hour on the highway with a windshield, with the passenger side window smashed open. I just didn't care anymore, man. Everything that I ever did was taken, right?
No, it's a horrible feeling for sure.
Kimber arrives in the airport, and I was like, yo, listen, man, we're not doing no videos, bro. I got nothing for you to work with. He was made aware of it, but like he still flew in to be a supportive friend,
That's great, man. You can't ask for more than that.
Like not even like 4 or 5 days later, I'm just drifting up and down the 101 on California. I mean, North California, and I get a call from the Oakland Police Department, and they were like, "Is this Art Morera?" And I was like, "Yes." I'm here thinking they probably like,
oh crap,
yeah, I'm in trouble or something.
Yeah, that's the first thing when you get the police call.
And I was like, "Yes," and they were like, "Hey, listen, somebody turned in this bag. There's some hard drives in here." That's how we were able to contact who you were. I connected all these hard drives. I kept seeing this Art Morera over and over again. I did a web search and found that it's you. This is a person. Your contact information was to, I guess, your manager, and he gave me your phone number. You want to come by and pick up your bag?
It's like, hell yeah, I want to go and pick
So,
it up.
bro. I did a U-turn so fast, man. I
course,
drove.
man.
I drove like 7 hours south to Oakland, and bro, like my hard drives were there. Yeah, the MacBook was gone. Yeah, maybe I lost a couple sessions, but like I had just filmed a music video for the song that I did with this artist called Royce Rizzy. Like that video hadn't come out. Like all this work, everything, and that's God, bro.
That's amazing, man. Because you drop your wallet, you don't even get it back. Like,
Yeah,
it's
man.
awesome that you were able to retrieve that. Yeah, it's cool. It's a great feeling too, man. Like you went from your heart sinking to some relief, and it's like wow, all right.
Like that is a clear sign, bro. I feel like God be throwing people signs, and like some people they pick up on it. Some people like don't notice it. Other people pick up on it and still decide to walk away. You know, and I just can't, man. Like I don't know when it's gonna happen, but like I just know for a fact that like God is looking out for me on a crazy level, and I would be doing him a disservice by walking away.
No, I feel that. And like I said, man, you got to do it. And if that's how you feel, then you got to keep rocking.
100%.
But unfortunately for me, it didn't work out that way. A part of me wanted to, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, if you feel that way, man, I mean, I had that energy for a while, and you feel like you're on top of the world even when you're not.
Bro, but like you're saying it didn't work out for you that way, but your life did work out, man.
Well, yeah, my life definitely worked out. I mean, I'm beyond blessed with everything that I have. I tell my wife all the time, I feel like I do not deserve everything that I have. But in the music aspect, like a part of me was like, man, like it's the same feeling, right? Like I spent all this time battling. I spent this time honing my craft and just meeting people. It's like, wow, I wish I could have made it at that one thing. But now I look back and it's like I got tons of friends, incredible memories. I was part of the golden era of Miami hip hop, which a lot of people cannot say. And it's just been amazing. So I look back and it's like, there's nothing bad about it. It was all great. And I get to see homies flourish.
Yeah, like in a way, it's almost like the effort that you put in during that era, like even till today, like yeah, your name is Charlton, but nah, man, you're minus, bro.
Yeah, man,
you're minus.
But
you know?
And you know what's crazy too? Even from the battling stuff actually helps me in my walk of life now. Because if I got to get up on stage and give a presentation for like something technical or whatnot, like that's easy for me, man.
Right.
When they want me to walk into a room and speak to people, honestly, it is easy for me because nothing beats getting on stage and having someone really like talented in front of you and you kind of just know it like, man, I am going to get my feelings hurt right now. That will test your character.
100%.
And after that, like, I'll go and give presentations all day. Look at people like, yeah, in the back of my head, like, you guys have no idea what I've been through behind a microphone like that. So I lost nothing, you know, like that helped me in ways. Back then, I wouldn't have thought that. But now it's like, wow, like it did more for me than I thought it would, which is amazing.
Yeah, like you're seeing how like that time of your life made you develop in a certain way just in life, like with life skills, you know? Or maybe if you get into a debate with somebody, you're like,
Yeah, I mean, the bad part is sometimes I look at them and I'm like crafting an insult in the back of my head about the way they look. I'm like, okay, wait, this is not how it's supposed to be. But you know, obviously some of that creeps in. You know, like sometimes I'll catch myself freestyling to myself and whatnot. But you know, I'll listen to some, like I'll be on the radio or just have my playlist going. I'll listen to some dope hip hop or a real fresh beat will come up. And, you know, naturally it's like riding a bike, right? Sometimes I want to freestyle, but beyond that, it's just it's great. It's a part of my life. It always has been, always will be. It's just pretty awesome. Plus, it allowed me to become a student of the game where I can appreciate other artists more than just, all right, some mumble rap or whatever. Like if I hear dope lyricism, I can appreciate it. And when I see it, it's just awesome. You know, it's more to me than just a song when I hear something really good that I like.
yeah, because you get it. Like,
Yeah, I get it. I
like
get what they went through.
It's like being a magician. Like in context of this, like there's no magic. Like, yeah, like it's magic to the people that don't know what the magician is doing. But when you are also a magician, you see it all, and you're like, good job, man.
Yeah, man. Or when you see a good performance, you're like, wow, okay, you know what it took to do that training, to do that effort, to work on your clarity, on your vocals. I mean, on all this stuff that like in anything else people don't see. But in music specifically, like I can relate to that because I did it. So in that regard, it's been pretty cool when I listen to artists that I really enjoy, and it's like, okay, they make good music, and it resonates with me differently.
Do you, bro, Minus, man, do you ever see yourself just for fun, like just recording a song?
I've thought about it many times, man. I'm just so busy nowadays, but yeah, I've definitely thought about it.
You should, man. Like, damn, I mean, I don't mean to poke you.
Oh, I knew you were going too as soon as I walked in here, but it's all good. Yeah, I've thought about it, man. I've thought about it. It's fun, you know. But yeah, maybe hit me up, man. Maybe we'll do something. That might be pretty cool.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? That'll be a pretty big look in my world, man. Like, man, which one of y'all got a Minus verse?
Oh man, not many. That'll be pretty cool though. It'll be fun. I mean, I'm no longer, facing down, recognizing Jin, so it's all good.
Fucking recognize, man. He's
killing it, man.
Yeah, he is, bro. Do you remember? He was like my first battle, man.
Poor you.
I wonder if. Yeah,
hey, Jen was my first battle, so it's not that much different.
Yeah, like I wonder if he's heard any of these episodes, man. Like, if you have recognized, man, like you served me, bro. But I've gotten much better since then. I'm not even battling anymore, but I've definitely like focused my attention on music. It's just that, man, like my brain doesn't even work in insults no more. I used to focus my energy on how to make fun of you and all that.
You had to.
And
that's
like,
what you're trying to get through.
Even now, I look at you and I'm like, bro, like no insults process in my mind. If anything, I'm just thinking of cool rhyming words and how I can tell this story later.
Yeah,
you know?
man. And also, like, that goes back to the battling too. Like, you just had to. It wasn't even only about insulting the person in front of you, but you had to present it well, talk about real world topics going on in the news or the television or artists, bring up stuff that's like, around you, items in the room. So you could even win a battle without technically insulting the person like heavy. You know what I mean? You could just rhyme about something going on around you and present it so dope that they'll be like, oh snap, and that'll stay in the people's minds. So.
Like just finesse the whole situation,
Yeah, man, definitely. Because it was, when I think back to it, it was a combination. Oh,
nah, it's all good.
Oh man, he's keeping guard.
Yeah, no, it's that Morty's my co-host, so every now and then he's out of.
Oh man, Morty's a G, man.
Yeah, he is, man.
You were saying?
No,
it's about like when I was battling. I think one of the times when I got it, when it finally clicked for me, was okay. I can freestyle. I'm capable of freestyling, and I'm not premeditating my lines, but I am going into a battle with concepts in my head. So I wasn't going in empty. You know what I mean? I didn't go with any lines prepared, but I went with concepts, and I was able to, through the freestyling ability, put those concepts together in a way that matched my surroundings, And then obviously, I at one of the podcasts, I think it was with Cloud or Serum, you mentioned like you would see the sign up sheet.
I was about to mention it.
Yeah, and all these cats who signed up, and it's like you saw the same people enough. It was at first, I didn't think about it. It's like, oh, I need to freestyle even if I lose because I need to be a purist. But then I got better and I realized, I'm like, man, like, of course they have stuff prepared for me. Right. There's stuff that they, and if they feel they need to pull it off, then they will. If they think they got it in the bag, then they won't. So yeah, man, it was definitely a combination of just having the will and the ability to really freestyle and combine it with preparation, man.
You signed up as Born Identity.
Yeah, man.
You wore your hat mad low with the hoodie on, where they can only see like the bottom half of your face. You're just like, who is this guy? And then like you raise the hat a little bit, and they're like, it's fucking Minus.
It wasn't that glorious. It wasn't that glorious, I promise. But it was definitely yeah, for that reason. I was like, everyone saw my name. It's like, all right, screw this. Then you catch them off guard. And then, obviously, when I went with the Born Identity name, I had enough time to throw them off guard. And while they were trying to while they had 2 to 3 rounds to figure out stuff to say about the name, I had enough time to say stuff about why I have the name and use that concept first, and then you take that away from them. And it was fun, man. I don't know why. I have no idea why I did it, but it was a lot of fun. And it worked out, I think.
It did work out because shit, man, I remember it to this day, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's the thing, bro. Like some things that people do, some things that you do, you probably won't even think twice about because it's just something that you decided to do. To other people, they'll never forget.
Oh, man, I remember some lines of just getting destroyed. I remember one of the moments that got me big time was when I first got to know Parable. He was with the Sowa crew. So again, it was Parable, Logic, it was all his cats. We're hanging out somewhere in Kendall, whatever. And we were freestyling. And then, the freestyling turned into battling, like really, oh shit, okay. And then I'll never forget, Parable had a P&B shirt. And then he's rapping. I forgot how he laid it out, but it was like, oh, you should wear this because you're Parable's new bitch. And I was like, oh man. And like that was one of the moments that just stayed with me, and it's like, wow, like that was like, it was like, damn, that was hard, like that sucks. But then in your head, like, man, that's pretty dope, but you can't show that. You couldn't show that you appreciated their lines until after, because we all became friends and whatnot. But during the time, you're like, damn, that sucks, and you had to hide it. Like, damn, that was actually pretty good.
Parable's nasty with it, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. Like, man, bro, that this was tight, bro. Like, see all these little memories, like. Right when you mentioned P&B, I remember you telling me that many times before, but I didn't recall what he broke that down as until you said it now.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did, man.
It's just there's some lines that they tell you, and it's like, oh wow, that definitely sticks with you. And also, like, we were like ciphering, there wasn't a microphone, there wasn't a crowd, so that kind of, it was more personal,
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, just in the sense it was like, it was a crew, it was the homies, it was a time in life that was very memorable, but beyond that, man, I mean, I've been in so many battles down here. See, I never got into it to be like an artist. I just wanted to battle. So I didn't care about making music for X amount of time. I just want to battle. I don't care how good your music is. I don't care how many records you were trying to sell or mixtapes or whatever you were trying to do outside of the thing. It didn't matter who you were, how good you were. You were in front of me and you had a mic, and at that point you were my equal, and we're gonna get down. And that's all that mattered, and that was really cool. It was the playing field was leveled, It was an equalizer.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and this is true, bro. Like, I remember this one time at the Polish American Club.
Oh man,
like,
the Polish.
Like, real quick, we got into the cipher. I mean, just real quick, like, we got into the cipher. This one guy, you said something to this guy, and then he kind of took it the wrong way and kind of started to get like a little funny with you. Like, nah, but what's up, bro? He didn't understand the concept of like battling. And then he kind of like tried to intimidate you, and you just finessed it real quick, and you just like pulled up on him, and you were telling, hey, listen, man, this is just the way it is, but it's just bad. And just you changing from like stoic battle MC to just human being.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what are you doing?
Like, really diffused his tension. They totally just like diffused it, and like. Man, I remember seeing that and being like, yo, Minus knows how to handle some situations.
That was probably God, because that wasn't me, man. I'll be blessed, man. I never had any major conflicts because of music or nothing like that, But again, I guess coming from that era, it was like, it was a lot of people, the majority of people were on the same page, and there was no beef. It was just you went in, you competed. And a lot of the times everyone became friends, and it was cool. Even if, there was some brutal stuff that was said back then. But it was just... They would have said it to me. If it was someone else, they would have said it to someone else. So it is what it was, man. It was Fight Club, and it was all good. And that was awesome.
Well, look, man, like, on that note, man, we've been talking for more than an hour.
Really?
Minus, man.
Damn, man, it feels like 15 minutes.
For real?
Yeah, straight up.
People keep saying that. I need to have like a clock in the background. Like, look, man, like, we've been talking for like 72 minutes, bro.
Damn.
Like, it's just wild, man. But, bro, what a pleasure it was to chop it up with you, man.
Dude, it's my honor, man. I mean, we're homies from way back, and definitely just by you hitting me up to come on here, like, I just had so many memories I just brought back. Like, I had them locked in the back of my brain, and there's so many more, man. We'll definitely get through it, and we'll have some discussions.
Just bring a Medianoche next time, bro.
Hey, man, I came straight out of work. I felt bad, man. I saw, like, with Bear. Shout out to Bear, man. Bear's a homie from high school as well, and,
right.
And I saw you had him on the podcast, and you brought a pizza or something?
Yeah, he brought a pizza. I wasn't mad at that. I was like, hey, I'll take a pizza, man. I have no entitlement,
And then Cloud, freaking, he brings a Medianoche. I'm like, damn, man. I just got out of work, man. Next time, we'll go have a lunch and we'll hang out. I promise.
Real quick, before we leave, yeah, you treated me one time to a fucking Hong Kong buffet in Hialeah.
Hell yeah, 49th Street, man.
And you didn't even eat. You were like, you know what, man? Like, I'm going to take you to eat, bro. And you sat there while, like...
Yeah, you were starving. I remember that.
Pigged out. And I was just so happy. I was like, what the fuck? Well, I went from being super hungry to being just pigging out because of mine. Your mind is you've looked out like countless times, man. Thank you, man. God bless you, bro.
It's I don't know. It is what it is, man. I've had tons of people look out for me that were amazing, and again, one of the things that Joel always taught me, even from back then to now, is like, just pay it forward, you know? It's all good. Like, I had so many blessings, so many people who helped me out and gave me advice and did so much for me that if, you know, we were homies, man, and if I could do anything for you and anyone else, like, let's do it, you know?
Are you giving away any cars at the moment?
Not yet, man. Not yet. Maybe in the future I'll do an Oprah and and give some whips out. But
awesome.
For now, it's
no, it's all good.
I'm hustling too, man. I'm hustling too.
All right, guys. Listen, man. So this is episode 17. Are you on social media?
I am, man, but my personal social media is all about cars and stuff. So if you want hip hop, it's you're not gonna get it there. You know?
Nah, car, whatever. Just so that somebody could be like, wow, let me say what's up to Minus one time.
Oh man, it will. If you want to talk some trash to me on Instagram, it's CC_minus. That simple.
CC_minus.
It's still there, man. Yeah.
And if y'all haven't heard, my project Transit City is on all streaming platforms. Check that out, man. If you're into documentaries, there's a whole little documentary on it too. On my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/Art Morera TV. It's the same channel you're hearing this on. With that being said, man, y'all be cool. Stay cool, man. Like Minus said, yo, pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? We out of here, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.